Excellencies, leaders of our health institutions, Governor, Board of Central Bank of Rwanda, our hosts, Head of Central and Reserve Banks here present or represented, our guests, representatives of international financial institutions, senior executives, excellencies, ambassadors, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am pleased to join you today to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the National Bank of Rwanda and participate in this conference on financial inclusion. As we celebrate, I congratulate the governor and the board members of our central bank for the job well done. We today, thinking of the last 50 years, as well as we look forward, thinking about the next 50 years. And looking around the room, I'm not mistaken to imagine that most of you, or should I say most of us, are going to be around by the end of the next 50 years. Let me also welcome our guests to Rwanda and wish you a productive and a pleasant stay. The National Bank of Rwanda has played a key role in rebuilding our country. Our government inherited a devastated economy and empty coffers, but the bank has mirrored the resilience of the country and its people. I wish to congratulate you for safeguarding Rwanda's economy for the last 2 decades and making sure that we remain on the path of equitable growth and development. The work that has been done by the bank is the foundation of the confidence that global markets and investors increasingly have in the future of the Rwandan economy. Just as important is the trust that Rwandans today have in our economy. We see a stable currency and a trustworthy banking system. As a result, we are doing better than ever before at saving and investing for the future of our families and the nation as a whole. But as we all know, there is still a lot of work to do so that everyone has access to the tools of financial empowerment. Financial inclusion should be seen, in fact, as a key component of the pursuit of self-reliance generally. Without access to modern financial services, it is more difficult for our citizens to save what they earn and invest it prudently. Financial inclusion is about bringing low-income households and small businesses into the formal financial sector to protect their assets, better manage risks, and facilitate access to credit. Financial inclusion has not historically been the main priority of central banks and regulators, but the challenges we face as a continent are not conventional most of the times. Going forward, financial inclusion must be the principal objective of financial sector regulatory frameworks. Regulations that make it difficult for financial institutions to innovate or too expensive to offer products to lower-income people have to be urgently reviewed. After all, today's new technologies and methods, many of which have already been referred to, make it easier than ever before to ensure the integrity of the financial system without excluding the poor from it. We don't have to choose between these two goals. In Rwanda, as in every other developing country, these innovations range from the revolution in mobile phone banking to the use of satellite imagery to offer small insurance policies to farmers. But innovation also includes the revitalization of organizational structures, such as cooperatives that are already familiar to Rwandans and allow us to bring the message of financial empowerment right into every neighborhood in the country. Indeed, the policy of establishing a savings and credit cooperative or SACCO in almost every sector in Rwanda is among the factors that helped us to double access to the formal financial sector in recent years. Let me offer a few thoughts on what may constitute success in this endeavor. First, information is the lifeblood of financial inclusion. There is a need for timely and reliable statistics to allow for monitoring and policy development. Cheaper, faster, and more reliable information on creditworthiness and economic activity spurs dynamism and competition in the financial sector. In particular, better information products are essential to put financial inclusion on a sound commercial footing. Second, financial inclusion is inseparable from good governance and civic engagement more generally. Institutions, both public and private, must connect to the needs of the people, including the most vulnerable. This engagement should include, in particular, financial education that any citizen can understand and use to improve her life. Thirdly, we must do our work with an eye to regional and continental integration. The growth of capital markets, including regional exchanges, mean simply bigger and more liquid markets, and promotion of a savings culture. Increased intra-African investment, as we have seen in Rwanda, calls for closer collaboration between regulators across the continent and the rest of the world. Finally, to be sustainable, financial services must be valuable to consumers, but also economically viable for providers. This is why strong leadership and a clear voice from the private sector are very critical. Businesses are the driver of growth and prosperity, and establishing and the enabling environment for inclusive private sector growth should be integrated into the post-2015 international development targets. In the last decade in Rwanda, there has been progress in raising incomes and increasing access to financial services. We are optimistic about the future. After all, with the right mindset, the problems we face are just an opportunity to speed up progress toward the future we want and deserve. Ultimately, our common goal is to empower as many people as possible to fulfill their potential and lift themselves into the circle of prosperity, which some people have already taken for granted. I'm honored to declare this conference officially open and wish you productive discussions once again, as well congratulate our central bank, the Central Bank of Rwanda. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for the guidance.